Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Snyder, and this is Dr. Betzy Leyva with me today.
Hi.
And welcome once again to Betzy's Journal as we explore Betzy's lifelong journal. I shouldn't say lifelong because you're a young person, you still have over half your life to go. But from the way she began, an infant coming across from Mexico to becoming a dentist, and then coming back to the place where she kind of got the inspiration to become a dentist here at the St. Vincent de Paul Charity Clinic. And so welcome again, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how Betzy climbed the ladder to where she is today. So Betzy, last time we talked about your early childhood, and you went to Herrera Elementary School. And now, did that stop at 6th grade or went the whole way to 8th grade?
It went all the way to 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then you graduated, obviously, from Herrera. Do they have like a little graduation ceremony in those days?
Yeah, they did. So what happened is that we all, obviously we told our parents, and then I think it was organized by a teacher. So they collected money, and then we got a limo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So whoever
wow.
paid for it, so we got in a limo, and then we just like drove. I don't remember. I think to the park or something like that. But it was like so awesome. I was so excited.
Oh my God, how neat that would be! And did you have to did you wear a special dress or something?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. So we did have. So we had a ceremony. We did that. I dressed up. Like with a dress and then my hair up. And then after that we did the whole limo thing with our friends, and then so we're all dressed up with heels or whatever, going on the limo.
And no drinking in the limo,
No,
right?
no.
Okay, good. Well, then you went to Central High School, which was
did.
actually out of your neighborhood. So
Yep.
how did that happen?
So at the time when I was 8th grade, I was gonna be graduating or promoting 8th grade promotion. I had a teacher, Miss Smith. So she saw how I was, with my grades, and then at that time, the closest high school was South Mountain. So at the time it wasn't a really good school. So she had mentioned to me, like pulled me aside. It's like, oh, Betzy, like I see that you're gonna go to South Mountain, but I really recommend, if you go to this one, Central High School. So, I listened to her because I really liked her. She was she was a good teacher. So, I mentioned to my mom, and then I went to Central.
So how did you get there every day? It wasn't in a limo, right?
No. No. So my mom would drop me off. So my mom was like our taxi driver. So she would drop me off first, and then she would head back to Herrera because my siblings also went there.
Yeah.
All of them. So went back, and then and then my dad would pick me up.
And was it hard because obviously you had to make a whole new group of friends, right? So it was your freshman year a difficult start, or no?
It wasn't too bad because some of my classmates from 8th grade went to Central too.
Oh, okay. So you got to have like a group in that. Yeah, that's kind of neat. What was your favorite subject in high school?
It was chemistry, just because of the experiments, but not because of the work, like the math and stuff like that.
Well, the labs are always fun, huh?
Yes.
Can you ever remember an experiment that didn't go so well?
Well, actually, one of my favorite ones was the ice cream. That one didn't go well at the beginning because the ice cream wasn't getting hard, so we had to do it again. And once it was fine, then we're happy because then we can eat it.
I remember my first chemistry course in high school. We had a lab, and the instructor had a student teacher working with him. And the first time in the lab, we have a Bunsen burner. They always give you that, and how to turn on the jet and light it. And one of the students didn't quite understand the principle behind it, and he turned on the jet, but the Bunsen burner wasn't connected to it. And here, the
Oh.
student teacher who had recently been married, and he was wearing this nice sweater that his wife had, I think, made for him. And when the student put the match to the jet, of course,
Oh
and
my
it caught the
goodness.
sweater on fire.
Oh my
And
god.
it didn't hurt him or any,
Yeah.
but and it was out. But the sweater his wife had made for him was history, so to
Oh
speak.
man.
So kind of crazy. Well, so in high school, did you go out for any clubs or play any sports or anything like that? Because I know you're very athletic. In fact, I've played basketball against you, and I know you run a lot. And you have actually, we both used to go to the Rodriguez Boxing Club, and you actually had some amateur
Yep,
fights.
I did.
Yeah. So you were the real deal. But in high school, did you join any?
I didn't. That's surprising. Yeah, but I didn't. And that was mostly because of just because I didn't have anybody to pick me up, and then how just coming from a Mexican family, and strict family. Well, my dad's strict. He didn't want me to get rights from other people or take the bus. So they would have to. My dad would pick me up, and I would just go. But I did join. I had PE.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I guess like towards senior year, I think it's like the last semester or whatever, you can't have it or something. I don't know, something like that. But because I remember going to my counselor and I was like, please, 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 can I have at least weight training? And so they gave it to me. So I had all 4 years, all semesters, whatever, PE or weight training.
Okay, what was your favorite thing to do in PE?
Pretty much everything. I liked everything. All the sports. I mean, they would, say, okay, well, today we're gonna play this one. I always had fun.
Always enjoyed, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. Now, high school can be a time where it's an exciting time and a time of growth, but it can also be kind of difficult for young people trying to find themselves. And I know a lot of high school life, in some high schools they have what they call cliques, where you're either with this group or that group or whatever. Did any of that exist during your time?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had like the football cheerleaders, basketball, the like I would say emo, group, and the like international group over there. Like it was like basically kids from over different countries.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's kind of neat then. Yeah.
So
And then, so were you in any of those, cliques, so to speak, or?
I was talking to everybody. I wasn't specifically in one clique. So it's like I had a friend in every little group. So I would go, with my friends, like the cheerleaders or football, talk to them. Go like with the international students and then talk to them. Just different groups that I had and people that I talked to.
And I can identify that because I was exactly the same way. I played sports, so I was with that group. But then I had a lot of AP classes, advanced placement, and so I was with, like the smarter kids. Don't ask me why, but they were generally not that athletic, but more, into the mind and so forth. And the same with different ethnic groups. And I had kids from my neighborhood, that we saw each other. And I kind of felt the same way. I never felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I was isolated, but I felt like I was kind of a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt too.
Yeah, with you too. Yeah. So while you were in high school, and you mentioned that. Well, let me ask you this: Did you work a job at all in high school?
I didn't.
Or a lot of kids, like in the summer, they get something, or even sometimes the schools will give you like a little work study type thing. So you actually had never worked at all.
Nope.
And how, like, did you pack your lunch, or did your parents give you lunch money, or?
Well, no. At the school, it was free.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have to pay for lunch at all? Oh man, why didn't you call me?
No, we had it was the lunch was free, but there was also like snack bars, I guess. Yeah. They had like chocolate chips, whatever. But my parents would give me some, like, oh, here's for the week or something like.
So did you get like an allowance? Would you say, or not really, or just as you needed it, you would ask them?
I think just as I needed. Yeah.
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 I remember it was same situation. My parents, we didn't have much money. I mean, I guess we kind of had enough to make it, but sometimes seemed like not. But one time in chemistry class, I accidentally, we had these flasks. Well, it was a graduated cylinder, they called it, and they issued it to you at the beginning of the year, and you had to turn it back in.
Yeah.
And something happened. I turned around and I knocked mine, and it broke. 75 cents. In those days, that was like a lot of money, And I thought, man, I can't ask my dad for 75 cents. So I can't even remember now how I rounded it up, but somehow. Maybe my mom, she was always like the weak link, But same thing, we didn't really have money. I was, I think I mentioned last time, I was the newspaper boy, but everything you had went right to the family, It wasn't like I had my own money. Did you ever, like as from your family life, did you ever feel pressure, like as if your parents were struggling to, put food on the table or pay the rent or gas in the car or things like that?
No, they didn't like pressure me to work.
Yeah,
no.
but I don't mean pressure you, but did you ever hear conversations that you thought, oh, gee, I mean,
I mostly I could just see it, not really hear them talking, but I just knew that there was, struggling. So
I slept upstairs, and I would hear my parents sometimes, and I not argue or anything, but just like, oh man, how are we gonna do this, or how are we gonna pay for that, or something. And it kind of as I was the oldest son, and even though I was still in school, maybe 9th, 10th grade or whatever, you kind of feel guilty, because like your dad's there working in the mills all day long, and I don't know, I just you kind of had that. And of course, I never thought like to go and ask them, hey, can I have money for this or money for that? I mean, I just didn't, And
I mean, I remember one time, I don't know for how long this went, but I mean, we were struggling for money, so all we ate for, I remember, it was maybe like a couple of weeks. It was just potatoes. So we made potatoes like different ways. So, so I mean, So from then, it's like, I was like, well, this is like for my future is something that I want to. I don't want to be like this. Not that I was ashamed or anything, but I don't want to struggle. So
and I think that had played a large part with myself too. And I know. Did you always have a car? I mean, not you personally, but did the family have a car?
Oh yeah, we had a car. It was. I mean, obviously, it wasn't like a new one. It was something. I mean, beat up, but we had a car.
And in fact, it's funny. Ours was the same thing. My dad never owned a new car up until the time like I finally left home. But in our neighborhood, you could tell, like as the men came home from the mills, you could tell who was coming down the street by either you heard the engine rumbling or like ours was the brakes. As soon as and we lived on a steep hill, you'd hear my dad's brakes coming down. We'd know it was time for dinner, and it was.
So this is something funny that happened. So my dad, so usually he would come in his work truck's huge, but then this time he came in his this is our truck. It was like this old Ford blue truck, and at that time it was having trouble with like the horn. So he picks me up, and then he's gonna make a turn, and then like you can hear like from miles away it's like beep, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like covering my face, and then and then we were getting off. I mean, there was a lot of kids walking out, and then all you can hear is like beep, and I was like, oh my goodness, let's go Dad.
Something happened when my sister was in high school, and I can't remember if the bus, something happened where the parents had to get the kids there, and my dad couldn't. But we had a neighbor, and he had this old beat-up truck, and he said, oh yeah, I can stop by, and my sister was older, she was the oldest one, and I can take Karen to work, that was her name, or I mean not to work, but to school. And so, because the door on the passenger side, I guess, didn't shut, he had to like wait till she got in. Then he tied a rope around, where the windows would be to tie her in, and then drive her to school. And I can remember that first night when she got back. She and my dad had one big argument, and it seemed like they were always the ones that were having arguments. But about how embarrassed she was that he had to come around and untie it so she could get out of school, and the good old days.
Good old days, yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. But overall, you had a pretty good time at Central High School.
Yeah, I did.
And what are there any particular teachers there that stand out?
Yes. Actually, it's my pre-cal teacher. Just because, yeah, bless his heart, but he was like so patient with me. He would help me all the time with pre-cal. I mean, for me, I don't like math. I don't like math at all. So I mean, me pre-cal, it was like a huge thing. So he said, Betzy, I see that you've been trying really hard, and I see that you come to me and ask a lot of questions. So if you at least pass this test with I think it was a C, I'll let you pass the class. And then I was like, oh, thank you so much. This is Mr. Reichow. It's like, thank you so much. And then it just, guess he believed in me. He saw that how I would struggle, but I would still come in for help and try to understand it. So
yeah. So one last question: with your classmates that you graduated with at Central High, do you from time to time run into any of them, or do you keep in touch now? Of course, with Facebook and all these other things, are you able to keep in touch with some?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm able to keep in touch. Basically, mainly with on Instagram, and I mean, there's been a couple that came here through as a volunteer. So. In the dental office. So
that's kind of neat that they see you're a dentist now.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Are they surprised that that's what you ended up doing, do you think?
I think so, yeah, because then they're like, oh, wow, Betzy, I'm glad, I'm happy for you, and yeah.
Yeah, and I can see why they are happy and very proud of you. So anyway, I think our time's about up, but we hope you'll continue to join us each week as we follow Betzy's path up and through high school and into college and working at the dental clinic here and eventually getting into dental school and keeping up with her with what she's doing now, which is pretty interesting and exciting. If you would like to help us on our mission here at St. Vincent de Paul Charity Dental Clinic of helping men, women, and children in our neighborhood who have no access to oral care whatsoever, there's how you can do it. And if you go ahead to the St. Vincent de Paul donation page, if you would like to designate that the donation comes to the dental clinic, that would be nice. Although we're so proud and I'm so fortunate to have so many other wonderful things that go on here to help people in need. So anything would be totally appreciated. And the other thing is, if you do choose dental, please say you heard about us on Betzy's Journal. So until next week, take care, God bless, and we'll see you later.